Hi, we're the crew of Texas Country Reporter.
Happy holidays!
Hi, I'm Bob, and this is Texas Country. What if Santa suddenly retired? It's happening in one Texas town. After 35 years and more than 3 generations, Dick Cranford says there will be no more trips down the chimney for him. We were there for Santa's last ho-ho-ho. And even though it's the holidays, life still goes on in places like Eldorado, Texas, site of one of the few remaining frontier hospitals in the country. We spent a Christmas Eve night with the medical workers at the Eldorado Hospital. But first, hop in and travel with me to Georgetown, to one of Santa's own workshops.
Sun City is a great place. It's a great retirement community. We have all the amenities here that a person would want. I maybe play golf once a month, maybe. Chase that little white ball around the golf course is nice, but to me it gets frustrated. And so I like to do something that calms my nerves a little better.
Well, it's not the soothing sound of birds singing in the trees, but to Keith Johnson, the squealing song of the bandsaw is music to his ears. Woodworking has been Keith's hobby for more than 30 years, but now that he's retired, well, it's practically a full-time job.
Pretty much 6 days out of the week, I'm at the wood shop at some point in time. I'm usually here at 8 in the morning and somehow manage to get home by 5. I get out a lot of little honeydews at home when I do this. I hope she did hear that. I always had a woodworking shop either in my garage and did basically just a little bit of everything. I got tired of building so many birdhouses that I got into toys.
Planes, trains, and automobiles, if it's got a motor and some wheels, Keith can recreate it down to the tiniest detail. Now, they're not fancy or flashy or complete with remote control. Keith's creations are the simple, tried and true toys of childhood, and their durability is a credit to the craftsman.
It's amazing what you can do with it, and you know, to make it work. It's very satisfying, soothing. You don't think anything about, you know, the troubles in your life, if you have any, while you're working on this. It's just very satisfying to me.
The woodshop's always full of folks, but when the holidays come around, it becomes a beehive of activity. You see, this year, Keith and the other members of his club have donated their time and talent to a very special project, making hundreds of toys for needy kids at Christmas. The only problem was getting those toys into the hands of the children who need them most. But Keith had an idea, and this time, well, he wasn't clowning around.
How y'all doing? My granddaddy and my daddy were Shriners. I guess for me, when I got up 21 years old, to follow in my dad's footsteps and go right into the shrine. When we decided to do the toys for the kids, well, I immediately thought of the Shriners because I knew that the Shriners was an integral part in dealing with kids through the hospital. So I knew that avenue, and I did want them to be a part of it. There you are, Lester, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Keith, Ray.
Thank you very
Our
much.
children really appreciate all this. Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to y'all.
Out of his makeup and clown costume, it's easy to imagine Keith Johnson as someone else, just as beloved by kids of all ages. Picture a bushy white beard and a little red suit, and suddenly he is Santa, hard at work in his toy-filled wood shop. Whether he's a jolly old elf or a carefree clown, Keith Johnson makes children's wishes come true at the holiday season and all year long.
There's a lot of kids out there that still need something under that tree. And I think and I hope that that's, what we accomplished.
Windswept and cold, winter has come to the flat West Texas prairie. The town of Eldorado is in a deep slumber on this magical night before Christmas. Strands of lights flicker through a curtain of darkness, where hardly a creature is stirring anywhere, except on the outskirts of town.
Olivia and I get here at 11, and we do a shift change. We get report. We find out who's here and who needs special care, what we have to do with them.
When we're as small as we are, we're it.
They call it the Schleicher County Medical Center, just a fancy way of saying hospital. In fact, as far as anyone can tell, it's the smallest in Texas. But on this Christmas Eve, even in Eldorado, there are 2 nurses on duty all night long in a tiny hospital with no one sick, no one injured, empty, except for Marie Sharp and Olivia Balta, the entire hospital staff on Christmas Eve.
This morning when I went home, we had 2 patients. So I expected that we would still have those 2 when I got back this evening. I got here and they're gone. I hate to see anybody stuck in the hospital on Christmas. It's a sad place to be at Christmas time.
It will be a long night, a night that crawls into Christmas morning, the wee hours of Christmas morning, that is. Marie and Olivia figure they're about the only folks awake this time of night, but they are in charge of running the emergency room, intensive care. It's all in their hands. You see, the little 16-bed Eldorado Medical Center is one of the last of the frontier hospitals in America.
Okay, this is oil field country. There's ranching. A lot of bad disasters happen in this area. And we're right in the middle of it. We have to be efficient. We have to know our pros and cons. We have to know what we're doing in order to take care of these people. And they need us. They need us. That's why we're here.
This was the only ER room around for miles and miles. And we've had snake bites, we've had
Respiratory distress.
anything you can imagine come through here.
We don't look forward to it, but we're always, in anticipation that there's always the possibility something drastic can happen out there.
Could have somebody come in with a migraine headache, heart attack, broken bones. Every now and then I do like to see this place empty. That's what makes me feel good at Christmas.
It will be quiet on this holy night. The myriad of maladies that normally plague the human spirit seem to be on hold.
It's kind of lonesome and we don't have any communication with the outside world. This chair sure does need oil.
As the minutes tick by, no phones ringing, no sirens blasting, no doors bursting open with doctors running down the hall. This is ER in a frontier hospital. And on Christmas, the emptiness is a rare time to reveal what's in a person's heart.
Making people feel better, that gives me satisfaction. If I know I made somebody feel comfortable somehow, that's rewarding to me. You know, I know it's not possible, but if I ever had a lot of money, I guess I would want to take in all the kids that nobody had wanted. No?
For Olivia Balta and Marie Sharp, it seems disaster and pain have passed them by on a cold and windy Christmas Eve. They are a quiet reassurance in this windswept town. Two nurses who give up their own Christmas to ease a suffering that never comes. Nonetheless, the quiet vigil continues. This is Christmas in the smallest hospital in Texas.
I feel this is where I need to be. This is where I need to be now.
We may only have 16 beds, but you can't count how many lives we've touched.
It's a cool, damp morning in Electra, Texas. Winter is making its first cold campaign to conquer the colors of fall. It's a fitting beginning to a special day in Electra, a morning that is anticipated here all year long. Today is the day that Santa Claus comes to town, and parents and children from all around have gathered to tell Santa their Christmas wishes.
Ho, ho! Hi, boys and girls! Hey, how y'all?
There are certain things in small towns that are the way they are because they've always been that way. In Electra, they've always had their own Santa Claus, and for 35 years, kids here have grown up with this Santa Claus.
Well, I started coming to see Santa Claus when I was 6 years old, and I brought my kids to see him, and I'm here today with my grandson.
I guess I was probably 8 years old whenever I sat on his lap. And she was probably, the first time, she was probably 3.
Hi there, sweetie. How are you, huh? You want Sandy to bring you a dolly? Well, old Sandy's got some elves working on them, okay? Merry Christmas.
Now we know there may be lots of Santas making rounds in Texas this time of year, but the folks of Electra cannot be fooled. This, they say, is the real Santa.
It was to me when I was a kid, and I think my kids think it is too.
When you start putting this red suit on, it really gives you a thrill to know that there's going to be a lot of young people out there that, and a lot of the mothers and daddies, they still believe. It's just grown with me, and the kids have grown with me too.
I think it's important all over the world for the young people to have a Santa Claus.
You're 6 years old. Well, I'd be.
Call us curious, but we had to know what Santa does the rest of the year.
Ma'am, you understand that you are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
We found him dressed up in a black robe, laying down the law as the Honorable Judge Dick Cranford.
In 1974, I was elected to Justice Peace of Electra, Precinct 4 of Wichita County. And every year I've run, and every year I've had opponents. And the people have thought that I do a good job, and so they've reelected me every year. We sure hope it doesn't rain tonight, because we've got a big parade coming off tonight too.
And if posing as a judge wasn't enough, Santa's got another disguise. He's the man the kids of Electra know year-round as the Sucker Man.
I started giving little children suckers, and it's just grown with me too. And a lot of the kids know me as the sucker man instead of Dick or the judge or Santa Claus or whatever. They just know me as the sucker man.
Dick's wife Janice says it's the kids that keep Dick going.
It's just like children know that he loves children.
You think he's the real Santa Claus?
Yes. Yeah, at heart, he's the true Santa.
That's our future, and if you can encourage a little bit of honesty and integrity into them, and they grow with that, then you've helped humanity.
We'd like to present to him a sincere appreciation to R.W. Dick Cranford, our Santa Claus, in recognition for 35 years of love and kindness to the children of Electra and yesterday's children also.
The yearly visit from Santa is a family tradition in Electra, but 35 years of a good thing is still 35 years, and even Santas sometimes retire. This is the last Christmas Dick will put on his Santa suit, the last time he will lead the annual Christmas parade in Electra, and the entire town came out to say goodbye.
I was thankful that they showed up and were willing to share with the people the different that they had sat on old Sandy's lap, and still believers. Even mamas and daddies still believers at that time.
Merry Christmas!
In fact, this morning realizing that today was maybe the last day, well, a lot of tears and a lot of thought came to my eyes. Just all the happiness that I've spread in the last 35 years, that I might not be able to do that anymore. But more than anything else, when you see the joy of a child or an adult that's bedfast, that it gives them some happiness, it puts a little happiness in your own heart. And that's important to me.
Are you the real Santa Claus?
Huh?
Are you the real Santa Claus?
Sometimes I feel like it. Yeah, sometimes I feel like it.
He's made his final list, checked it twice, and now Electra Santa Claus will return to the ordinary life of Dick Cranford. But deep down inside, a piece of his heart will always belong to a jolly old man in red. For after all, Dick Cranford really is Santa Claus.
Because when you do it for this long, well, it's just part of your life. Just part of your life.
And we wish you and yours very happy holidays. Thanks for joining us. I'm Bob Phillips. This is Texas Country Reporter. We'll see you next time.
I love that story.
Me too, and we've got plenty more where that came from.
Just click on the subscribe button and keep traveling with us.